Good morning, a warm welcome to you. My name is John Hammond from CryptoMetal Research, and this is the CryptoMetal Markets review, and it's Thursday the 5th of November. Right, starting with gold and looking at the fallout from the presidential election, we can see that the market's really gone pretty much sideways. We had a bit of a pullback, not the $50 I was expecting, about $38, but I was expecting some drive lower before finding a bottom. Because of the actual result or lack of result and indecision, then I think it's good for gold pricing, and that's why we're seeing the gains currently. A decisive win would have given us the markets a fillip, and they would have risen as they have done. But because of the situation with the delays and legal action, there's some indecision going on, which can reduce the certainty for gold, silver, etc., and that is why it's probably moving sideways. The chart, as we see here, this is a daily chart, and we're actually just above the resistance line now, which is essentially heading back up to sort of the 1932 level, which a close above here will be quite positive and bullish. We've still not broken this 1848 level to get to sort of a target sell-off around about the 200-day moving average, which could still happen because as time moves on that will rise, but that's around 1794, 200 days 1787, so it's going to be around $1,800, which corresponds with this area I've shaded here, and that's the kind of support area. I still think it could get down there before we take off again, but I think it's going to be delayed by a few weeks, and this is pretty regular with gold. When you look after a rally, particularly to a new all-time high, it can take several months to unwind from that, to gather sort of momentum again. We've got so much in the political side that's still got to wash through, particularly the issue with the Senate being Republican, and if we do get a Democratic leader over there, then there's going to be indecision, and it's going to be very difficult to get some of the legislation through, particularly with regard to the stimulus, which is going to be the driving force for the gold market into 2021. Now, they are going to have to do something. The other issue we've got, obviously, is coronavirus second wave. Clearly in Europe, that's a massive impact, and that's going to be an impact in America in the next few weeks, and we are going to see that affect markets. We're going to see it affect gold, and that's where we could get the ability for the bounce to come from. But sadly, that's probably going to be the catalyst for any move upwards. The dollar could affect things as well. The strength and weakness of the dollar obviously affecting gold, which is priced in dollars predominantly, and silver too. So gold and silver are pretty much following the same pattern. They're stuck in this kind of very narrow range, extremely boring. We want it to do something one way or the other, and I'm hoping for it to head down before it goes up again, because we can get in at lower prices, but also because it washes out the weekends, puts a lot more stock on the table, and some really good opportunities coming up now for our members. So we're delaying that to some degree, but we have got some great news on the horizon. But let's move on to silver. Okay, looking at silver, as I mentioned, pretty similar story. We're still kind of in the bull flag at the top end of resistance, breaking through. If we get a close above here, that's obviously going to be bullish, but again, we've still not really driven down to the lows I would expect. The 200-day is around 2135, and that's nearly 50% retracement, which is about $20.75, and that's the kind of area I would expect to get to before we take off again, and possibly down even to the lows of the previous kind of area support we discussed in previous videos, which is going to be around $18, which seems a long way away at the moment, but that's certainly still has potential if we have some news out that could push these metals down. And there's a lot of confusion. There's certainly not any clarity in terms of what's going on in America at this point. I expect the next 2 or 3 days to get some information one way or the other, even if it's one of them just throwing in the towel. But the legal actions that are going on are just protracting this problem. But gold and silver pretty much in a consolidation phase, as they have been for several weeks. But we do have some good news. Moving on to Bitcoin, as you probably know, Bitcoin's been pushing through, and certainly the election and lack of direction is probably one of the reasons a lot of people have been flooding to this cryptocurrency, along with the fact that it's one of the hardest assets of all time. It is in fact harder than gold now, and it's got some degree of certainty. We've got a lot of companies coming into the marketplace supporting Bitcoin, a lot of companies in the financial services space talking good things about Bitcoin, even regulators working with countries, with companies to sort various products out. So the pipes are beginning to be built here, and for those of us that have gone in early into Bitcoin, it's going to be extremely good news for us next year. Where we are at the moment, if I take a look at some of the longer charts, longer dated charts. Okay, if we take a look at the weekly chart here, you're looking at the previous highs of the massive initial rally Bitcoin had, and that got up to sort of 19,700 area, and then we've got one basically back in 2019, which that was the previous high, which we've now driven above. If we close above here, essentially we're at 14,500. We've kind of built this channel, and this channel, if it bounces off here, because we've got no real price action here, we've got a bit of price action about 14.4, we've gone through that. The next one's around about 14.7, late 600s. We could be heading to that line, and that will correspond with around about the top of this resistance channel, and then we could see some sideways trading or sell off to bounce off the bottom, or even get down to the area of support down here, which wouldn't surprise me with Bitcoin. But very bullish. You know, there's not a lot of resistance up to the kind of 20,000 level, so this area probably will get some degree of consolidation between 16,000 and 17. At that point we could see Bitcoin, because it's now in a bit more mature market than it was here, so there's going to be buyers and sellers and people taking trading opportunities. But I think we could push quite quickly to get up to these levels, certainly in the first quarter of next year, if this momentum continues, and I can't see any other reason for it not to, on the basis that more people are coming to the table. This is a limited resource. It is fixed at 21 million Bitcoin, and we won't see that for several decades. So where we are now is about 80.5 million. If people are all fighting over these coins, and not all of them are there, some have been lost. So on that basis, there's just a very small pool of this asset, and a lot of people very interested in having a piece of it. So this is where the news gets very exciting, and we could see a bit of volatility around these levels if we do get a close above 14,500 today and this week. So watch out for that. There's some opportunities coming, no doubt, to buy in on retracements, but this could be one of the few times to get in at this price before things start to get very positive for this particular cryptocurrency. So that's it for me, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully report back, if not tomorrow, then certainly early next week. At CryptoMetalResearch.com, we have a number of services to educate and inform you on how to benefit from the financial reset in this massive bull market. We fully expect our portfolio to return multiple double digits in the huge financial reset we're going through. The risks are high, but so are the returns for those with industry connections. We have years of trading experience to support you during your journey. Our services include CryptoMetal Premier, a full done-for-you service for the time poor who see the massive potential of having your assets realigned to benefit from the next big investment boom. We do everything for you so you can sit back, relax, and watch your assets appreciate. CryptoMetal Partner, a done-with-you educational service for those who want to be involved and learn how to benefit from this massive opportunity and receive signals of when to get in and out of your positions to maximise your profits. CryptoMetal Portfolio, a do-it-yourself solution so you can learn and apply the portfolio to your investments directly without any support or assistance. CryptoMetal Pulse, a signal service direct to your inbox as and when the market dictates, combining decades of technical analysis trading within your broader crypto metal portfolio. CryptoMetal Personal, a virtual one-to-one for those who want to know more, want to discuss their personal situation and investigate what CryptoMetalResearch.com's investor education can do for you and your financial wealth.